This is Jessica Rubino with Delicious Living Magazine. I'm here with our food editor, Elisa Bosley, and today she's going to talk to us a little bit about natural sweeteners, what they do, and how to use them. Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Why don't we start with this one, agave nectar?
Okay, this is a very popular sweetener these days, agave nectar, because it's mostly fructose instead of glucose, so some nutritionists believe that it's better for diabetics, doesn't impact blood sugar as much. It's made from the agave plant, same plant that makes tequila. And what's great about it is it's really easy to pour, and it doesn't ever crystallize the way honey does, which is what I love about it. So yeah, it's really easy to use. You can use it kind of the way you would use corn syrup. So there's a lot of recipes that if you find corn syrup in it, you could just substitute agave. It's sweeter than sugar, so you only need about 2/3 the amount of agave as the same amount of sugar. So 2/3 cup agave instead of 1 cup sugar. If you're baking, you would bake it less because it browns very quickly.
Now, what are the types of dishes that you might use agave in?
It's really good in things that freeze, so ice cream or frozen yogurt. It has a really high freeze point, so it's great for that. It doesn't get hard. But you can also use it in baked goods. You have to cook it a little less, so you want to decrease your oven temperature by about 25 degrees and watch it a little bit more carefully because it cooks quickly. But cookies or quick breads, banana breads, things like that. It's a really versatile sweetener.
How about this one? This we've seen in the news quite a bit lately.
Yes, this is stevia, and it comes in both a powder granulated form and a liquid form. The powder is very, very fine. You can see it just almost like powdered sugar. And stevia has been in the news a lot lately because recently the FDA granted it generally recognized as safe status. It's been sold as a supplement for many, many years and has been used in South America and Asian countries for centuries, but it's now gaining ground in the United States as well as a zero-calorie sweetener. The plant that it's made from, a South American plant, is 300 times, or the refined version is 300 times sweeter than sugar. And again, 0 calories, so it has no impact on blood sugar. So now food scientists have isolated a compound called Reb-A, which is one of the compounds in stevia that has the best taste to it. It can have, stevia can have some bitter aftertaste. So now companies are mixing Reb-A with other 0 or low calorie sweeteners to get the best flavor profile. So that's what Truvia is. It's a mix between stevia and erythritol, which we'll talk about later.
Now, how would you use that, especially because it is so much sweeter than sugar?
Right. You really have to experiment with it because you need so little of it. It doesn't work really in things that require a lot of sugar, but things like you're sweetening lemonade or ice cream or desserts like that, especially liquids. Smoothies works really great in that, and again, 0 calories. So this is actually a liquid stevia extract from sweet leaf stevia, and it's an orange flavored stevia extract. You add just a few drops to sparkling water or plain water for a 0 calorie sweetened drink. I'm going to drink some. And it tastes great. Erythritol is another 0 calorie sweetener that's made from fruit extracts, but unlike stevia, it's actually less sweet than sugar. So it makes a great blend with other sweeter sugar substitutes. For instance, as I mentioned, Truvia, which is a mix of stevia and erythritol. And erythritol itself can be mixed with fruit extracts. It's almost exactly like table sugar, and it makes a great substitute for table sugar. The only problem is that it doesn't dissolve all that well in liquids. It's better for things where you would mix it with regular sugar to cut down on calories. So you maybe use 50% erythritol, 50% regular table sugar, because they have exactly the same feel and texture, and you'd cut down half your calories.
Are there other sugar alcohol sweeteners?
Yes, this is another one. This is xylitol, and it's also a sugar alcohol with half the calories as regular sugar. So it's not a 0 calorie sweetener, but you'd still save half of your calories. As you can see, it too has a granulated texture, a little bit coarser than erythritol. But unlike erythritol, this does actually dissolve well in liquids. So it's good for anything that you would want to use regular sugar. It also is one that I would recommend using as a blend with regular sugar because in high quantities it can have some bloating or even laxative effects. So I would suggest using this with, again, a blend 50% sugar, 50% xylitol to cut down on calories and less impact on your blood sugar.
What's this one? Is that honey?
No, this is actually brown rice syrup, which is a great substitute for honey, very viscous. And it's made from brown rice that is fermented with enzymes to convert the starches to sugars. But it has more complex carbs, so it's about 50% complex carbs, so it has less impact on blood sugar, and makes a great low-calorie sweetener. You can see the viscosity is very similar to honey. It's actually less sweet than honey, so in a recipe you would need more of it. For 1 cup of sugar, you might want to use 1.5 cups of brown rice syrup. And it's great in things that need to brown, like biscotti or granola or cookies, but you do have to watch it carefully in the oven because it can brown more quickly.
What does it taste like?
It's got a mild butterscotch flavor that's very nice in baked goods like biscotti or cookies or quick breads. You do need to use more of it than honey or sugar because it's less sweet, so about 1.5 cups of brown rice syrup would be good for 1 cup of sugar. But you do have to experiment with it, and it browns very quickly again in the oven, so you want to reduce your oven temperature a little bit and watch it carefully as it's browning.
What's this one?
I love this. This is one of my favorite sugars. This is date sugar, which is simply dehydrated and ground up dates, so it's very minimally processed. You can see it's coarse and grainy. It looks like what it is, dried up and ground dates. Works like sugar.
Why do you like this one?
Well, dates are so naturally sweet on their own that you can use less of this than regular sugar, so it automatically cuts down on calories. You can use about 2/3 the amount of date sugar as you would regular white sugar. And it even has fiber. It's got 1 gram of fiber per tablespoon, so it's a little extra bonus. And it's just very minimally processed, so I like using it in pie crusts or cookies or baked goods. It doesn't dissolve that well, so you don't want it in things that are creamy necessarily, like custards. But anything that's crunchy or hard, again, it browns quickly, so want to watch it in the oven.
Last but not least, we have just plain old sugar, right?
Well, yes, this is regular sugar, but it's not regular sugar. This is natural cane sugar, which a lot of delicious living recipes call for. Most sugar that you're going to find on the market today is made from genetically modified sugar beets, and conventional sugar production is really hard on the environment. So some sugars, if you're going to look for regular sugar, at least look for an organic variety. This is just a straight regular sugar that 1-to-1 substitute for white sugar, but it's a little bit brown and exactly the same texture. A little bit brown because it's not been bleached. And some brands, including Florida Crystals for instance, are carbon neutral because they use renewable energy, have a renewable energy plant that has no carbon impact on the environment at all. So if you need just plain sugar, at least look for a brand like that.
But like all sugar, it should be enjoyed in moderation, right?
Yes, all of these that are sugar sweeteners, always want to enjoy them in moderation.
For recipes using these and other natural sweeteners, go to deliciousliving.com and type the sweetener into the search box.